What's going on? It's your host, Go Green. Welcome to Go Gadget Green. That's the channel. The show is the Green of Thrones NYC Sports. We want to talk NBA free agency. Shout out to everybody I got live streaming with me on Facebook and the Green of Thrones NYC group. And shout out to anybody that takes the time to check out the video on YouTube. Maybe we get a couple people to join us live here as well. But usually my fan base or my fellow sports talkers or whatever you want to call us, we uh we here in the Green of Thrones. So shout out to everybody that's here with me right now. Let me go to the top, see what's good. Elijah was good. Reg was good. D was good. Gray was good. Dwayne was good. David was good. Indy was good. All right. Shout out everybody. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So my bad. If I just waved, my bad. I don't be waving and all that. So I think I hit the button by accident. So all right, I'm gonna get right to it. Let's deal with the one thing that everybody wants. The talking about the Knicks failing and striking out and all these things is gonna be crazy. But I want to say this first and foremost, as a Knicks fan, as a diehard Knicks fan. I think there's a narrative that needs to change. And if it hadn't changed before this season already, we're going to change it today. And that narrative we're going to change today is we are no longer going to call the Brooklyn Nets the B team in New York City. We are no longer going to call the New York Knicks the main attraction of the city. We're going to call it what it is. The Brooklyn Nets the Brooklyn Nets. Hold on, my phone. Somebody's calling me and it's disconnecting my headset. To you guys, the Brooklyn Nets are New York's basketball team. They are New York's basketball team. You just got to give credit where credit is due. At some point, you got to just let it go. And the fact is that this is not a New York basketball town. I don't want to hear about the Mecca and the stage is so great. You know what the stage is great for? People to come and cut the Knicks' ass on stage. Excuse my language for anybody that doesn't like profanity. But yeah, that's what that stage is for. To defeat the Knicks on and shine in front of the celebrities that come see the other players. The Knicks don't have the Nets a few years ago pulled off one of the worst trades and took on Kevin Garnett and took on Paul Pierce and had all these bad contracts, gave up all these draft picks. They've already rebounded from that. They've rebounded tremendously from that. You could say they've rebounded twice because the D'Angelo Russell deal that got them to the playoffs last year is the first rebound. And then that led to getting KD, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan. So I'm going to personally say, as a basketball fan, I'm a diehard Knicks fan, but I'm also a diehard basketball fan. And as a diehard basketball fan, the narrative is forever changed until the Knicks do something about it on the basketball court. The Knicks might be the number one valued franchise financially, but they are not the number one thing in New York anymore, basketball, and they probably haven't been for some time. The Brooklyn Nets are the primary basketball attraction in New York City. It is true. No one wants to come to the Knicks. The Knicks are going to have to do something about that. The Knicks are going to have to do something about that. There's no way around it. There's no sugarcoating it. I don't want to hear about the value. I don't want to hear about playoff games and attendance. None of that mattered. They got KD, they got Kyrie, they got DeAndre Jordan, and they got Garrett Temple to play with Karis LeVert, Joe Harris. I forget the center, And my man with the fro that be blocking all the shots. And there's another guy I'm forgetting about. I'm pretty sure of. That's a pretty good team. Without Kevin Durant, that's a good team. Just adding Garrett Temple and Kyrie Irving, it's a better team. And then you got Durant coming the next season, even if he's only 80% the player. That's the best he's able to get back to. You got to give credit where credit is due. So before we talk through the rest of the NBA, I just want to be the first one because I'm not a salty Knick fan. If you a real Knick fan and y'all been following Green of Thrones throughout this process, y'all know that the youth movement is something that a lot of us are okay with. Even though we had an opportunity to swing for the fences, we swung and we struck out. It didn't happen. The difference this time is we have no bad contracts. We have we have 7 draft picks over the next 5 years, and you still have salary cap space to do other creative things. Now the front office is on the clock. You got to do something with it. There's no savior coming to make it all easy for you. Fizdale is going to have to coach. There's no tanking. There's no tanking. You're going to have to coach and show because guys want to see what your system is. They want to see how you're going to play basketball. They want to see what you're going to be able to do to improve it. Not just show me on the whiteboard, show me on the digital whiteboard, but you're going to have to show me from your videotape of your last season, how your players, how you put them in position to win as a coach. So that's what they're going to have to start doing with these young guys as they develop these young players. And Brooklyn got to get the credit, and the Knicks got to do something about that. So I'm done with my Brooklyn Nets rant. Salute to Brooklyn. I don't know if a couple more people have joined us. So any Brooklyn Nets fans here, shout out to you. You definitely have won free agency. Now we can get into the specifics, how the team chemistry and how it all plays out. But I mean, come on, let's not try to sugarcoat it anyway. Brooklyn Nets definitely running New York. BK to the fullest. Let's see. We got some comments here. Green, I told you so. Brogdon got a bag. I'm gonna just run through these comments and then we'll keep on talking through it. Why the hell would the Pacers give up a first for him if he was a restricted free agent? Yo, you know what? Yo, great. I think that maybe the only thing that comes to mind with that question, maybe it saves some cap room for Indiana to be flexible and they didn't have to overpay. I mean, damn, they still paid him a lot though, right? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure, bro. That's a good question. Anybody else want to chime in on that? Why would the Pacers give up a first round pick for Brogdon if he was a restricted free agent? Red said the Knicks just aren't able to put together a championship team. Yep, we talked about the Knicks. Randall to the Knicks, 4 years for $80 million. No, not 4 years. I hope not 4 years. Yo, Reg, I don't agree that the Knicks fumbled. See, that's the narrative I don't agree with. If the Knicks fumbled because somebody didn't choose them, did anybody else fumble because a guy didn't choose them either? The Knicks didn't fumble. The Knicks took R.J. Barrett with the 3rd pick, which is what they should have done. And the Knicks didn't get a meeting with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. If Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant made up their mind that they wanted to go to Brooklyn, that's not the Knicks fumbling. That's those guys. Like, did Golden State fumble because Durant left? No, he made a choice. Yes, you can feel disappointed. You can, you can feel, however, I'm sorry, I was just reading something about Ramona Shelburne about the Knicks. That we'll get to that later. But yeah, I don't agree that the Knicks fumbled. I would say they struck out because they definitely put themselves in an opportunity in a conversation, which is what you want to be able to do. And now that they're no longer in that conversation, they still have something to build upon. I don't think that's fumbling. Let's see. Indy said, what up? No more long-term players, deal to long-term players we don't need. And I agree, Reg. I agree that with the Knicks. I agree. And Scott Perry has not done that. Unless something has come across your ESPN since we've been live here. Scott Perry has not yet handed out a deal. There is a report out that the Knicks were not prepared to offer KD a max due to his injury. Ramona Shelburne, born or Burn, just reported that. I don't know what I don't read too much into that. Of course, the Knicks are gonna say that, right? Whether it's true or not, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, I agree though, Reg. The Knicks should not sign long-term deals to players that we don't want for long-term. I agree with that. And Scott Perry has not done that yet. Why the Nets though? Because they are the number one team in New York. They have rebuilt their team in a short time. They've made some savvy moves, and it's worth it. Those two first round picks that they gave up to open up that cap space, and the couple of fringe players they gave up to open up space to get KD and Kyrie Irving, and you still got Karis LeVert and all these other guys coming back this year. That's why the Nets. KD and Kyrie sign with BK. Should the Knicks sell the franchise? No, I will never say that. Now the Knicks shouldn't sell the franchise. Maybe Dolan should sell the franchise, but the Knicks got to do something about it. D. The Knicks got to do something about it, man. I just don't want to be sounding salty up here as a Knicks fan. Shut up, Spank. My ringer. Yo, I've never changed the ringer on my phone from the day I got it like 3 years ago. So whatever that is. Reg, what you mean? You just can't say what? That the Knicks didn't fumble? You can't say what? The Nets are the number one team in New York. True story. It might be true, but I can't say it. All right, I can respect that. D, what you said? D said, excuse me, it cut off the comment. How, LOL, all they did was sign Kyrie and nobody knows when KD is coming. Knicks roster right now is better than the Nets. Come on, D. Yo, the Knicks roster is not better than the Nets. The Nets had a better roster than the Knicks last year. They still got, without Kyrie Irving alone makes the Nets roster better. You know KD is coming, but Joe Harris, I keep forgetting. Please, somebody tell me the center's name on the Nets. Dinwiddie, the Latvian backup point guard that they have there. Nah, I'm sorry. The Knicks have to prove it. The Knicks had 17 wins. The Nets got rid of an all-star player and replaced him with a better all-star. They replaced their young all-star with an all-NBA all-star. That alone makes them better, and they have no significant losses. That's why I say they better. Yo, shout out to my cousin Devano. He's a Nets fan. You could go back and check it out. I'll say it again for you one time. The Brooklyn Nets are the team in New York until the Knicks do something about it. Yo, Jay, what's going on, big brother? With 0 unprotected picks. Yeah, the Nets did a lot. The Nets had a lot of savvy moves to get where they at tonight. Now they got to go out and win. Josh Allen, thank you. So I see somebody just posted it. Josh Allen, yeah, that's a nice squad, man. That's an upgraded squad. D said, please compare the rosters. Knicks young players are better than players who are on the Nets. Kyrie is the only star signed. DJ is good, but I like Robinson. Yo, y'all talk to D. I already told him how I feel. Do y'all think the Knicks, who is Kevin Knox better than on the Nets? He ain't better than Karis LeVert. Mitchell Robinson, you can't say Mitchell Robinson is hands down better than Josh Allen. He may end up being better. Joe Harris, I don't think you can say that Alonzo Trier is better than Joe Harris. Like, the Knicks got to prove it. The Knicks has 17 wins. The Nets went to the playoffs. Nah, I'm not saying the Nets roster. There's no way I'm saying the Nets are not better than the Knicks. But y'all tell me. I already said my opinion. I need to hear from y'all. Y'all got to tell me what y'all think. Yo, Hen, what's good? Good looking, cuzzo. Josh Allen, that's right. Reg says, today is the first day I ever felt like a Jets fan. Yo. Yep. Yo, Reg, you said it. The New York Knicks, no disrespect to the Jets, but if I won't quite say the Nets are the Giants because they have to win a championship, but I will say the Knicks are like the Jets. I think that's extremely fair at this point. I don't think the Knicks are in that Yankees Giants conversation. I think I don't know that the Nets are there either. I think the Yankees and then the Giants are, the cream of the crop in New York sports lore. And then I think the Nets are going to have something to say about it in the next 2 years. I think the Nets will have something to say about it in the next 2 years. I said it. I think Durant comes back 80% and Kyrie's healthy. These Karis LeVert, all these young players from the Nets are a year better. Yeah, I think the Nets will be tough. I think the Nets now they got to get on the court and do it. We can start breaking down the things Kyrie needs to prove with this Nets team, the chemistry difference. I think the Nets coach is more outspoken than Edwards. That's his name, right? Or Stevens, Brad Stevens, I think is the Celtics coach. I think Atkinson is a little more outspoken. So I don't think he's going to tolerate some of the things that Stevens tolerated. So you got all those other things that have to play out. But on paper, in the summer, because let's keep it funky, Knicks fans. If the Knicks would have got this same deal, we would have been hooting and hollering, jumping off the ceiling, talking about we can't wait till KD get here and how we a playoff team with Kyrie Irving. We would have been saying that. So I'm not going to discredit the Nets after they've pulled off this coup. Until they fail, they haven't. Rich Ross was good. Indy agrees with me. Reg is a very salty Knicks fan. I tell you what, you're not the only salty Knicks fan. I'm not salty because, like I said to someone earlier today, when I was coming from Seasoned Vegan, free shout out to Seasoned Vegan. Y'all know that's the spit at 113th in St. Nicholas. If you take the forget that it's the Knicks for a second. If you said that with all the horrible teams in the NBA, all the really bad teams in the NBA had 7 first-round draft picks, mad salary cap space, the 3rd pick in the current draft, which got you RJ Barrett, and a young core, you would say that's a hell of a way to start building something. I'm not saying it means you're going to win anything, because you still have to draft right. Your coach still has to coach right. You still have to develop the players, and the players still have to show up and execute the plan. But if I told you any other horrible team in the league had that, you would go, that's a great way to start. So the Knicks have that. So I'm not salty. I just know we swung and we missed, but we had a shot. I'd rather come into this summer with a chance than no shot at all. And I'm going to get to my Julius Randle conversation in a minute. Yo, James, peace, brother. Tobias just re-signed with the Sixers. Big move for the Sixers. That was huge for the Sixers. They about to, I know a lot of y'all feel a way about Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons has played 2 years in the NBA. Ben Simmons is extremely young, so I'm not going to get all crazy about what he can't do. He's an all-star with what he can do. Let's just talk about that for a second. You could pick apart his game, and I'm not about to say that he is better than anybody, and he obviously has some huge, huge limitations, but he played in the league for 2 seasons. Keeping Tobias Harris, I think, is key. Let's see what happens with Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler is probably going to break out. We got to see if Houston can make room. To make the trade for Capella, if all those rumors are true, and PJ Tucker. We still got Kawhi Leonard out there. We'll see what happens with that. But let's see what the comments going on here. Reg says they're going to give some bums a lot of money for no reason. Once again, when Scott Perry does that, we can talk about that. Scott Perry has not done that yet. If the Knicks sign Julius Randle to a 2-year deal, maybe 3-year deal with the team option in the 3rd year, I'm not going to be mad at that for that young beast of a player. He's a young player. He fits the young development of what they're trying to do, and they have a ton of money to mess around with. So dependent on the amount, I'm not against something like that. He's not a bum. You know, clearly they're not giving Tobias Harris a max. They're not giving Kemba Walker a max. They're not giving Jimmy Butler a max. From all reports, they're not giving DeMarcus Cousins a max. So these bums that the Knicks, they're not giving Middleton a max. They're not giving Brogdon a max. So who are all these bums or these players the Knicks are giving max contracts to? So until I see Scott Perry give out a max contract to a bum, I'm not even going to speak on that. D. Roberts said, no, they don't. It's over. Knicks are not wasting money on tier two talent because we need to fill the seats. I agree with D. I hope when he's saying no, they don't, we not in disagreement anywhere, because in that comment you made there, brother, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I do not think the Knicks will waste money to fill seats like they used to do. I do not think the Knicks will do that. I think the Knicks will continue to build the right way, but I think every year that there's a major free agent and the Knicks can put themselves in the conversation, I think that's a good thing that they have that shot. I don't think the Knicks are going to get any saviors. No, Giannis is not coming here in 2 years because that's going to be the next conversation. But guess what? The year that Giannis is a free agent, yes, I want the Knicks to have the money to be able to at least say, hey, we can sign him if he wants to come here. That's a good thing. That's doing good business. And the way you do that is by avoiding what Reg is saying and doing what D is saying. And what D is saying, I agree 100% with, and that's not signing second tier, what they call second and third tier players, to first tier money. Cuzzo, David was good. Indy says, I'm okay because a splash is not our forte. Well, usually it's been the wrong kind of splash. I feel like Scott Perry is calming that down a bit. Reg says long-term deals to nobody. I think I agree with that. I don't think there's a player available that I'd give a long-term deal to. I think that now I'm very high on Jimmy Butler, but I don't think the Knicks are good enough for Jimmy Butler to elevate us to the level to be some kind of threat. So in that sense, I don't want to give Jimmy Butler a max contract, but if you follow me in the Green of Thrones in any of the comments, you've heard me, say that I think Jimmy Butler is a max player. Planet Brooklyn, no doubt, Reg, is definitely Planet Brooklyn. See, now my cousin Dev, see, I should have known that was coming. Yo, Dev, listen, cuzzo, I will give you all the credit in the world until my Knicks do something about it, but I will never not root for the Knicks. I will never not root for my Yankees, and I will definitely never not root for the New York Giants, no matter what. So I'll be watching Brooklyn. I'll be checking them out. I'm a Kyrie Irving fan. I ain't gonna stop being a Kyrie Irving fan. You know what I'm saying? I like Karis LeVert. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna hate, but I ain't about to be a fan of the Nets, man. Pacers on tap, bro. They strong. Yo, the Pacers, but the Pacers just lost Bogdanovic. They got Brogdon, but they lost Bogdanovic. I think that's a huge loss. I think he averaged about 18 points and 6 or 7 rebounds last season, and now he's on Utah. Let's talk about Utah. I think adding Mike Conley and Bogdanovic with Spider, and you still got Favors likely to re-up in the defensive player of the year and Rudy Gobert, however you say it, excuse me. Yeah, I think Utah, I'm more excited about Utah than the Pacers. Benny was good. Ra was good. D says sign and trade with Brogdon, meaning the Bucks technically did not want him to leave for free. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the Bucks definitely, the Bucks won, because if you're gonna lose a guy like that, at least you got something back for him. I agree with that. But why would, I think what Alan was asking earlier is, why would the Pacers do that? Why wouldn't the Pacers just sign Brogdon outright as a free agent? Yo, Allen, maybe it's because Brogdon could get more money in the sign and trade, and the Pacers were maybe like the agent negotiated with the Pacers to say, hey, he will go there with you and sign your offer sheet. If you agree to a sign and trade, we can have on the table with Milwaukee and give him 85 million. Maybe Indiana didn't have enough money. I don't know how much money Indiana had as a in free agency. I mean, for their salary cap. So maybe Indiana did not have enough money to sign him outright as a free agent to where he would sign their offer sheet. But if they would agree to a sign and trade where he would get the max money at 85 million and they would send that draft pick to the Bucks, that Brogdon would do that. And the Pacers thought highly enough of him to do that. That would be my guess. So there you go. There you go. That would be my guess. I agree, Indy. The Knicks didn't fumble. They just struck out. So Benny is bringing up a few moments ago. I talked about how Ramona Shelburne said that the Knicks were not willing to offer KD a max because of the Achilles. Now, I said it doesn't matter either way. I didn't want to talk about it, but since one of you guys have brought it up, and I always respect the audience, and I appreciate y'all for being here with me. I would say that if that's a possibility, but the Knicks are the type of organization that are gonna leak that to the media anyway to make it seem like that. I think Kevin Durant, when he opens his mouth to talk about this, will say the Knicks, I was never going to go to the Knicks. I don't think he's going to come out and say that the Brooklyn Nets was his second option. That's why I say it doesn't really matter, because we'll never really know the truth. It could be 100% truth that James Dolan ultimately said, nope, I'm not willing to do it. Y'all know I'm on the record as saying I spoke to my man Thorough earlier today. I'm on the record as saying anybody I've talked to since the Achilles, I wanted KD before the injury, after the injury. I said it's a typical Knicks move. Matter of fact, okay, Julius Randle just got a 3-year, $63 million deal with the Knicks. How y'all feel about that? Talk to me, y'all. Julius Randle just got a 3-year, $63 million deal with the Knicks. Now, I need to find out if the deal with the third year is the third year a player option. I am not mad at that deal. It goes with the youth movement. But back to the KD and whether the Knicks offered the Achilles, didn't want to offer the max contract because of the Achilles. What I am saying is that it doesn't matter, because both parties are going to say what they want to say, and we know the Knicks will leak something like that anyway, so it doesn't even matter. What we got here, but you know what? I thought the Knicks would get KD, but I did not want the Knicks to sign KD to a max deal after that injury. I did not want it because it was a typical Knicks thing to do, and I felt like he would never get back. He probably will get back to being great in Brooklyn, but the Knicks don't have that kind of luck. That's not how the Knicks are going to do it. The Knicks are going to do it from having a young core and developing that young core into something special. That is the only way the Knicks are going to do it, through the draft and through a young core. Julius Randle, you adding 22 points and 9 rebounds to this lineup next to Mitchell Robinson. I like it. Let me get back to y'all. My man Indy says, so what? Both. I'm sorry, Indy. I don't understand your question about injured players may ever play together. Rephrase that question to me again, brother. All right. I see some more y'all talking about Dolan didn't offer Durant the max. That's possible. That's possible. They fronted on KD. I'm not against that. If that's true, since we talking about it, I'm not against that. I wasn't against it. Now, I painted a scenario to people I know to be objective. So we're having KD choosing the Knicks says a lot about the franchise, because KD could get money wherever he wanted this offseason. So it says a lot about the state of your franchise if KD wanted you and and you chose him as well. But I think very good for James Dolan in this case. Y'all might not agree with me, but it would have been bittersweet to have Durant by himself here in New York, because I honestly think you only get 2 years of him as an elite player. I think when he comes back next season by himself, it's no guarantee he can carry that load alone. With Kyrie Irving and that team with the Nets, different story. The Knicks have a lot more question marks, and I think the Nets are an easier option in that regard. Uh, they just said it. That was dumb. Reg, I think you're talking about the Knicks not offering KD a contract. Well, I told y'all how I feel about that. D. Roberts says they rebuild their team with only Kyrie. I don't think it's a rebuild, though. I think you took the playoff team from last year and you upgraded your all-star, but you're essentially playing with the same team that was what, seventh in the East, and you add in Kyrie Irving and then Durant a year later and Garrett Temple. I think that's a solid improvement. The Knicks should move to Seattle. Oh man, D. Roberts, how did Kyrie do when he had his own team? Kyrie didn't do well when he had his own team, but Brad Stevens had his worst coaching job of his career last season, and there were also some very big-headed young players out there in Boston. It was not only Kyrie Irving's fault. It was partially Kyrie Irving's fault what happened in Boston, but it was not only Kyrie Irving's fault what happened in Boston. And you know the biggest difference in Brooklyn is that there's a different coach there, there are different players there, and Kevin Durant's coming a year later. Indy says it changes for the Nets now. LeVert and Russell is gone now. Russell is gone. I don't know that LeVert is gone. Can somebody confirm that for me? Can somebody confirm that LeVert is also gone? Because now we talking. Now, if you starting to tell me they're dismantling their team, now if somebody can point that out to me, that's a different story. If they're dismantling their team and bringing Kyrie in with nobody else because the money is tied up into Durant and Kyrie, and Durant won't be there for a year, and they have to get rid of these players, renounce these other players to make it happen, that's different. But can somebody can somebody confirm that? I need some water. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. All right. Yo, I appreciate everybody that is here. I appreciate everybody with your opinions, your objectivity. I just wanted to one moment. I don't have commercial breaks, so I'm gonna do I appreciate you break. So thank you everybody that's here. Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, do they have to give these guys up? If they have to give these guys up, if that's what you're telling me, then yeah, that could be a problem. But so David, what you saying? David says, but isn't the problem here that James Dolan has just made indecision after indecision for years, and the front office has run the franchise aground? But why is that a problem when he see? Here's the thing, right? I'm gonna use this. I told this to somebody one time. I was trying to make a point about an apology, right? If a person is an alcoholic for 20 years and then they start to celebrate their sobriety day after day and week after week, when they have become sober for 1 month, the first 30 days or the first 2 weeks, whatever, what person are you going to be when they finally make the right decision? Are you going to sit there and ridicule them right away and say, oh, yeah, but what about the last 20 years? Are you going to say, you know what? You're finally making good decisions, and I hope those good decisions continue. That's my position on the Knicks. So, yes, if we continue to talk about all the bad decisions Dolan has made, yes. If you think offering a max deal to a guy fresh off of Achilles injury that was not going to play for you next year, that was going to get $38 million next year to sit out, which is such a typical Nick move. It's the typical thing to do. But if you feel like he should have offered Durant a max and let Durant reject it, then I see why you feel like it could be a bad move if that's what you're saying. So what I'm saying is finally some discretion. I think this is the type of discretion you want your ownership to show. And I'm not saying that because we didn't get KD. If we would have got KD with somebody else, I would have felt very different about that, because now we have a shot to make the playoffs in a depleted Eastern Conference. And then no, KD is coming a year later, like the Nets do. But in the Knicks case, it would have been KD with a bunch of young players and no one else possibly. And I don't want to sign on for that. So if it's true that Dolan decided to, I'm not even going to offer this guy a max because I don't even want to put myself in that situation, then I think that's the type of discretion you want. And if owners, because what we also don't know is that just because they saying Dolan didn't want to offer him a max, that doesn't mean that Scott Perry wasn't on board and Steve Mills wasn't on board. That doesn't mean that. Maybe the minute KD went down, the Knicks front office was in unison. So because of their history, I know we're going to assume the worst. And I can't knock nobody for doing that. I can't knock anyone for doing that, for assuming the worst. What I will say is I will continue to echo these points until I see the Knicks do otherwise, until I see Scott Perry's front office version of the Knicks do otherwise. I would say I appreciate the discretion so far from what I'm seeing. What we got next? Hey, I'm not going to be that Knicks fan. I'm definitely not going to be that Knicks fan, Cuzzo. Indy says, yes, they just signed Kyrie and Temple. I know, and Garrett Temple is a solid addition. That's a solid addition. Jared Allen is the center on the Knicks. He's gonna block shots. He doesn't even require the ball a lot. He's a very selfless player. These are the type of players you want around a Kyrie Irving. A guy that's gonna be a volume shooter and scorer. The Nets have a lot of selfless players. I don't want to let's not what's how you say it? Let's not graze over that. The Nets have a lot of selfless type players already on that team. And you adding the ball dominant superstar. Remember, D'Angelo Russell was just an all-star with the mean green light to shoot whenever he wanted. And they welcomed that. That team welcomed D'Angelo Russell shooting the ball all crazy however he wanted to. And that led him to being an all-star. How do you think they feel about an all-NBA type player that has won a championship? Like, they're going to embrace Kyrie Irving there. So I understand the narrative with what went wrong in Boston, but this is a different Nets team with different type of players and different type of culture and different type of attitude. They don't even got the drama like the Knicks got in their front office. None of that. Everything is smooth for them. They got no drama until Kyrie or someone creates it. So we could say whatever we want here in the offseason, but when you look at what the Nets had with D'Angelo Russell, now you had Kyrie Irving. Why wouldn't the Nets players want Kyrie Irving to be a ball-dominant Kyrie Irving when they just had a ball-dominant D'Angelo Russell? I know nobody here thinks D'Angelo Russell is even close to Kyrie Irving's level. So, yeah, you got to give them that. David said the Eddie Curry contract still haunts me to this day. I know, man. Knicks fans, we're going to have ghosts of the past until the Knicks do something about it. That's just a fact. Yo, Peterson, was good, brother? It's over for the Knicks, bro. You know what's funny when people say it's over for the Knicks? It's just it never been. When was it on for it to be over? Right? Like, and I'm not even saying this as a Knicks fan. I can only say this as a basketball fan. The Knicks haven't been good in years. There's nothing over for the Knicks. It hasn't started. The only thing that has started is what I said about the draft and the salary cap space and the no bad contracts. Even this Julius Randle deal is not a bad contract. So, the Knicks have the Knicks are just starting to do something that if any other team in the NBA that was bad did what the Knicks have right now, you would be like, yeah, they doing it smart. It's only the Knicks that when they do it, they go, oh, it's over for the Knicks. Yo, we know no saviors are coming. We know nobody's coming to save the Knicks. We know nobody wants to come here. We know that. But that been the case? It's been consistent. So all I'm saying is what's over? The Knicks would have to actually be good. I mean, Melo wanted to come here, and then Amari messed up his hand and was hurt up, and that never really panned out. We had that 1 year where we lost in the second round to Indiana. That was about the only thing worth talking about. That was one season. So, it just hasn't been good for a long time. The Knicks have been bad for so long that nothing's been on. It's not over for the Knicks because they ain't nothing on. Everything you said was on point. I appreciate that, bro. I'm just trying to be as objective as possible about the NBA, though I'm a big Knicks fan. Thorough was good, brother. Yo, stop the Jets disrespect. I don't mean disrespect to the Jets, man, but come on. If this ain't football season yet, but we know who the football team is in New York. You know what I'm saying? We know Big Blue out. Oh, you can't see from the glare. You can't see the helmet up there, but Big Blue is the A team in New York. We know that. And the Jets are the B team. The Yankees are the A team and the Mets are the B team. The Brooklyn Nets are the A team and the Knicks are the B team. The Nets just aren't on the Giants Yankees level yet, but they are inching closer and closer. Peace, Thorough. I try, cuz I try to be objective. That that's what makes it fun for me. They talking about the Knicks not willing to offer KD to max. Stephen A is up there going crazy. I can only be interested to hear what they're saying. I'm interested to hear a lot of people's opinions on that narrative of the Knicks not offering the max. Or is that something people going to put the spin on tomorrow and say the Knicks leaked that the Knicks did indeed offer a max and KG rejected it? That's why I'm not reading too much into it for another couple of days because I'm not, you never know with the Knicks, man. Yeah, thank you, cuz gotta be objective. But that's what makes it fun for me. Being a fan makes it crazy for me and just being able to speculate and all that. But I really do enjoy talking about sports and all the machinations that go on and creating a good team or a bad team or average team and all the other things that go on during the length of a season. And the NBA, which has created all season round and so off season as well. David Garcia says the disrespect of Melo is when it all went downhill for the Knicks, in my opinion. You know why I can't say it all went downhill for the Knicks on the disrespect of Melo? Because the Knicks never really elevated to nothing special while Melo was here, though Melo had a lot of individual moments that were really good during his Knick tenure, but nothing real special happened. So if you take that 1 year, Melo never elevated the Knicks to nothing. He got the coach he wanted. I thought he should have embraced D'Antoni and went with the offensive. One thing D'Antoni does is get to the playoffs. He doesn't win championships, but he makes you a playoff team. And if Melo would have embraced D'Antoni, I think it would have been a better situation as far as the playoff runs. We would have had more years in the playoffs. We wouldn't have won anything, but we would have been a playoff team. I think those teams, the Woodson teams, I don't know, but I get your point. I just think that it never really was uphill with Melo to go downhill with the disrespect of Melo. That's all I'm saying. No, I know you're a Knicks fan, Reg. I know your heart just hurting. Yo, brother Oba was good. Brother Oba, I know you were a big Sixers fan. Shout out to Philly. So I know you excited. Y'all re-signed Tobias Harris. I think that was a important move for y'all because you don't want to lose players like that for nothing. Maybe some people will say you overpaid or whatever, but at the end of the day, you don't want to lose these players for nothing. And not for nothing, the Philadelphia 76ers were the greatest challenge to the world champion Toronto Raptors, the NBA champion Toronto Raptors. The Philadelphia 76ers were about to go to overtime or a second overtime, whatever that game was. That game was tied before Kawhi hit that crazy shot. So, I don't think the Sixers should be so quick to blow that team up when you put that team together from the mid-season and you were 1 3-pointer away from going to overtime and possibly winning that game 7. And maybe you beat Golden State. I mean, sorry, Milwaukee. Maybe Philly beats Milwaukee and goes to the NBA Finals. And who knows what happens if the same injuries happen to Golden State and Philly is in the finals. So I'm just saying, I don't think Philly should be so quick to blow that team up. Let's see what Jimmy Butler does, and keeping Tobias Harris was key. But as I just saw, Philly lost JJ Redick. So they got to replace that because JJ Redick was key, but he's not getting minutes anyway. The way they lining up, I don't think you want to lose JJ Redick and Jimmy Butler. So we got to see what happens there. So yeah, let's watch out what happens. Shout out to Philly though. Let's see what's up. Peace, Indy. I respect that. Thorough was good, bro. Thorough said this was the worst case scenario for Knicks management after the Unicorn fiasco. This was the worst case. No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that being the worst case scenario for the Knicks because I didn't want the Knicks to sign. I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm saying I didn't. And Thorough, we've talked offline. I'm saying I didn't want the Knicks to sign injured Kevin Durant, and then they didn't do it. So as a Knicks fan, I actually got something I want. I think the worst thing that happened for Knicks management was Kevin Durant rupturing his Achilles. So if that's what you mean, then yes. Now, as far as the Brooklyn narrative, and I think knowing my man Thorough, I think that's what he's referring to, and I'm going to have to agree with him in that regard. I think that's exactly what he's referring to. So I have to agree with him in that regard. Yo, Indy, I'll bring you on in a second. Let me catch up on these comments real quick, and then I'll bring you on. D Roberts, D, what's good, brother? You said salty as hell, but I definitely agree with you. Until the jury is out, the Nets are the best. Yo, bro, we salty, but it's gonna be all the better when RJ wins Rookie of the Year. That's one of my predictions. I'm booking it here. RJ Barrett, Rookie of the Year. Oh yes, brother. I'm not salty. I'm not salty, my brother. Now, I'm not salty that the 2 stars are still in New York because the Knicks gotta show, improve, and build and draft right. They gotta do the things that other front offices are able to do. They gotta show, improve, and so that's like I like a girl, but she ain't really feeling me because my credit is 625, but this brother over here got is 800, 900, whatever the number is that or better, and he could buy a house and do all that, and she like him more. I'm salty because of what? Because I wasn't ready, and people didn't like how, even though I'm working on mines and I'm paying off my bills, not making my credit worse, and I'm getting better because I used to be 500, but she don't know that. The Knicks just got it. That's the shoes they in. This is the bed they've made for themselves, and they gotta bring themselves out of it. They gotta bring themselves out of that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be salty at the Nets for that, but I do understand the salty Knicks fan because when do we get our savior? How long do we have to wait? Green, yo, Reg, we're gonna have to wait as long as it takes, brother. Oh, Oba, that's right. My bad. Oba is from Philly, but he's a Lakers fan. And we ain't yet talk about the Lakers yet. My apologies. My brother Oba is a Lakers fan. He is from Philadelphia. Y'all can ask him how that happened. I ain't even gonna go there. I don't even know how that happened. You know what I'm saying? But the Lakers, AD, they got the cap space. Kawhi is on deck. If the Lakers sign Kawhi Leonard, if the Lakers, if the Lakers don't sign Kawhi Leonard, the Lakers are still gonna put together a hell of a team. That's just how I feel about the Lakers. The Lakers are gonna be good. All the Lakers got to do next season is stay healthy. That's what I truly believe. I truly believe all the Lakers got to do next season is stay healthy, and they'll be fine. Let's see. Sacramento Kings. Oh man, yeah, the Kings. That Harrison Barnes deal, I guess, is not too bad. Um, I like De'Aaron Fox. I like Bagley a lot. Buddy Hill could flat out shoot the basketball. Excuse me, I need a little bit more water. I feel like there's somebody else I'm missing in Sacramento. I feel like they signed somebody in free agency today. Who else did not Seattle, sorry, Sacramento. Who else did the Kings get anybody else? Yeah, I like the Kings are headed in the right direction. So I like how the Kings look in the Western Conference. Not as anything dominant or anything. I'm just saying they're headed in the right direction. I like what I'm seeing. If I'm Perry, I'm trying to get Russell now while he's hitting his prime. Yo, if the Knicks sign D'Angelo Russell, I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that. But maybe trade Dennis Smith. I don't know how Dennis Smith is going to respond coming off the bench. He shouldn't respond too bad because D'Lo is an all-star. I'm not against it. How many years, D? How many years y'all signing? How many years you signing D'Angelo Russell? What's a reasonable deal? We know the Knicks have the money, but you giving him the full 4 year? You committing to him like you locking him up, or you doing a 2 to 3 year deal? What we talking about? Devano says Ben better work on that shot. Talking about Ben Simmons. That's all Ben Simmons needs to do. Ben Simmons gets any kind of jump shot. We ain't even gonna be talking about what the whole narrative on him right now. I think Jimmy Butler's going to end up in Miami. I think Jimmy Butler's going to end up in Miami too, which is, hey, listen, like somebody, I think it was Thorough said to me on the phone, uh, these are grown men. They're going to pick where they want to live and play. I find Jimmy Butler in Miami very, 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 very interesting. But hey, him and what's the point guard there? Oh, I can't think of his name. He's a good point guard. Ah, man, I can't think of his name. Excuse me, y'all. Help me out. Point guard for the Miami Heat. Him and Jimmy in the backcourt. But who's on their front line? Hassan Whiteside. It's interesting. Maybe, Jimmy Butler, though, doesn't lack for confidence. So he's definitely viewing himself as somebody that could maybe do what he saw what Kawhi did in Toronto. Obviously, Kawhi was already a champ. Excuse me. Kawhi was already a champion in San Antonio and a Finals MVP in San Antonio and a Defensive Player of the Year in San Antonio. But Jimmy Butler definitely probably feels like he's gonna make that happen. What's up with my Lakers, Dido? Yo, your Lakers. You heard what I said. The Lakers is good. I'm even if the Lakers. I'll say it again. Even if the Lakers don't get Kawhi Leonard, the Lakers are gonna be dangerous and deadly next season. That's exactly why the Knicks are gonna go and overpay somebody. See, the thing with Knicks fans, we do it to ourselves sometimes. See, I'm not gonna keep on addressing this, Reg. When the Knicks go and sign and overpay somebody, I'll say Reg was right. Yo, Ak, what's going on, sir? Dragic, that's right. Dragic. Yeah, Dragic and Jimmy in the backcourt. I mean, what they gonna do in the East? The East is wide open if Kawhi leaves. Kawhi leaves, you only got my man Akatunde, my brother Akatunde. We definitely striking out. That I will say. I will say the Knicks are striking out. I will not say they fumbled. I will not say they messed up, but we definitely struck out for sure. But you couldn't, you know what you striking out means? That you was able to step up to the plate. So, and if the Knicks stuck up to the plate and didn't even take a swing, I'm even happier about that because I told you I didn't want the injury. You another one. We speak offline. You obviously you my brother on a whole nother level, but shout out to United Front, the Vanguard. But you know, Ak, how I feel about the Durant thing. So if missing out on Durant is striking out, the greatest strikeout ever, ever, ever. So what up? What do you call when you miss 3 straight Ks? Well, you know, Golden State missed out on that too. Uh if Toronto, if Kawhi leaves, Toronto missed out on that too, and Boston missed out on that too. So the narrative that the Knicks, like, you know, the Knicks, the guys didn't choose the Knicks. The Knicks won 17 games last year. Like, Knicks fans got to see we are what we are. Embrace what we are. We're a young team building from scratch. And though we have the money, nobody wants to come here yet because we ain't proved nothing yet. So, yes, you struck out, but you have a foundation. That's the difference. You've lost 50 games. It's like, right? Why would Knicks fans think anybody wants to come here anyway? You've lost 50 games 5 years in a row, 50 plus games. You've won a franchise low 17 wins, 17 victories twice within like 5, 6 years. So that's why. So the fact that you're finally making deals and you use Porzingis was your first asset you use to create more assets. You drafted Kevin Knox. Will the jury's still out? Mitchell Robinson got made a what? Made a one of the All NBA rookie teams, third team or second, something like that, or second team. So Mitchell Robinson looks like a piece. Dennis Smith Jr. is young. You got young value with 2 years left on his deal. We'll see what he is. Now, these moves have to pan out. These players have to be something, but this is the process. They finally doing it right. So when you've done it wrong for so many years, it's like, damn, it feels like a continuation to those years. This year is not directly connected to how the Knicks have dealt with things in the past because this year the Knicks actually have a foundation and something to keep working towards. They just got to draft right and move forward. The Seattle Knicks. Red, you crazy. Yeah, Akatunde. I knew that you wasn't gonna be happy. So my man Akatunde is a big time is a big time uh uh Milwaukee Bucks fan, and he did not want Middleton back. So he wasn't feeling them tying up all that salary space into Middleton. So we'll see what happens with that. So now KD ain't coming because y'all didn't get Kyrie. I didn't say that. That's not what I said, Oba, but what they saying is KD, what I'm reading across the screen is KD wasn't even offered the contract. If that's true, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Nobody wants to come to the Knicks because the Knicks haven't proven they're ready for that yet. They have to prove it. They have to do something about it. And Knicks fans should embrace that because though that's could look like a daunting reality, you actually have a foundation to build on. So let's get these drafts right. Let's develop RJ Barrett. Let's develop Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson and Trier and whoever else. Let's hope Julius Randle is the young beast we saw in New Orleans last year. And let's add that to that lineup. And now, you know, hopefully Kevin Knox can help spread the floor and RJ Barrett can be better than he was at Duke. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we gonna see. We gonna see. Johnny Jesse was good, brother. Yeah, Bomani, I know how you feel, brother. Brogdon and Lamb plus able to sign Randall. Well, Indy, we know Randall got signed. They got Brogdon and Lamb. So, all right, you saying Lamb got to show he's gonna replace Bogdanovich, right? That's what we talking about. Utah definitely came up. I definitely came up. There's a lot of salty Knicks fans out here, Cuzzo, except you. I know, man. You know I've always been you yo, Yo, Cuzzo, Spank, Elijah, you know how I always been, man. You know how I always been. I always been very objective about my Knicks. I be hoping, I be hoping with the Knicks fans, I be hoping, but I'm very objective about the Knicks, and they are what they are. But there's a foundation there. You know what I'm saying? There's a foundation there. In the next 4 years, when the Nets are coming out their salary cap situation and these guys are a little older, we'll see. But it's going to be a couple years. It's going to be a couple years, but each year could be more and more fun. The Knicks 17 wins for this team. If the Knicks come out next season and win, you know, 28 to 30 games, you're probably like, oh my God, that's horrible. Yo, it's the next step. But if you did that and you got a rookie of the year also out of it, that's good. Now, if you surprise and win 30, say you win 20 more games because Randall is like a stud and RJ is rookie of the year, you won 20 more games, you're gonna be like, yo, the Knicks won 37 games after. So it's that journey. So let's see what happens. The Knicks may only win 5 more games next season, but let's see what the development process is because last season Fizdale managed the players well and he managed personalities well and they never gave up. But this year, Fizdale's gonna have to show some X's and O's, that's for sure. Where do the Knicks go from here? I'll tell you where they go from here. They keep playing their young players and they incorporate Randall. Now they have a power forward. Remember, KP was supposed to be their power forward. Now they got a dude that gave Ennis Cantor 45 points. He gave the Portland Trailblazers a playoff team 45 without Anthony Davis on the court, with a depleted Pelicans team. So we know he's going to put up buckets. The question is how they going to all mesh together. And I like an offensive player like Randall next to a defensive player like Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, well, the Knicks ain't going nowhere. Well, I can't say the Knicks ain't going nowhere because as I've argued, made the point about the foundation they have, they have a foundation to work with. And if any other team had that foundation and was a horrible team, a 17-win team, you would go, that's what you needed to do. This is what Philly was a few years ago. You know, Golden State drafted their stud players. Milwaukee drafted their stud player. There's a couple of teams that drafted their stud. The Pelicans once drafted their stud player. Now they drafted Zion. There are teams that draft their stud players and then they actually pan out. Obviously, Zion is different because we got to see him pan out, but we know Anthony Davis is the best big man in basketball. So, yeah, there are teams that draft their own players and become good teams, and the Knicks are likely going to have to do it that way. Matter of fact, my man Benjamin, I don't think he's here with us. He actually said that. He was like, yo, nobody's coming to the Knicks. Al-Farouq Aminu went to the Magic. So Portland lost Al-Farouq Aminu. They got Rodney Hood and this other dude in the trade. I forgot the other guy's name. But anyway, let me stay to the focus. Let's see. We just hope that we drift to shore. What we got? Ariza. Yes. Ariza was the other player that went to Sacramento. Sacramento has definitely improved. They've definitely improved this offseason, and I think the players they have will be better, and maybe they challenge for one of those playoff spots down at the bottom of the Western Conference if everybody makes the type of jump that they hope what they will make. The Knicks are a snake-bitten franchise. I mean, if KD's injury makes the Knicks snake-bitten, then I guess they are. Bucks are good. We bringing back George Hill and the Mountain, Cracker Mountain. The Bucks are gonna be fine. You'll replace Brogdon somehow. The Bucks will be fine. They'll be right atop the East next year. I don't see what the rush is. Thank you, Collis. Like the Knicks finally doing something right. I can't count from 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago. I got to count from Perry's regime. And the Perry regime so far is putting the Knicks in position to do the right thing. Perry had nothing to do with nothing that happened with the Knicks prior to him being hired. So until he messes up, that's the theme I'm running with. Randall just signed. Dolan didn't offer the max. We've talked about that. Elijah, good pickup. I think Julius Randle is a good pickup. And I like that deal. 3 years, 63 million. You can't be mad at that. The Knicks was paying Tim Hardaway 18 million a year. So you just got a guy that is averaging 22 points and 9 rebounds, 20 million a year, and he's going to be a go-to guy on your team. I'm not mad at that. Too long and too much money. I disagree. He's a good young player. He's only 24 years old, and he's only going to get better. Last year was his breakout season, and I know a lot of Lakers fans didn't want to lose him. We got a guy we can throw the ball into the post. He can hit a three-pointer. I'm not saying he's a three-point shooter. I'm saying he can hit the three-pointer. He can dribble. He can dribble, face you up, and go off the dribble. So I'm not mad at the move. I don't think 3 years is too long. I think it's a solid piece to continue to build around because we know that nobody's coming to sign with the Knicks. And next year, there's no free agents. Everybody's locked up this year. The free agents for next year are not that crazy. I think, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to even go off the top of my head because it's been a while since I looked at that list. But yeah, the free agents next year aren't that crazy. And I'm not even going to talk about 2 years from now because if Julius Randle can continue to improve on what he did out in the Western Conference, I don't see why he can't do that out here in the East. And we know Fizdale's going to give him the ultimate green light. It's helpful for Barrett too. Zion without athleticism. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's Zion without athleticism. Right. Exactly. And he gave that dude 45 points with none of the athleticism. Uh, yeah, I think RJ. I think having a guy like Randall takes some pressure off of RJ because you can't load up on RJ. It takes pressure off of Knox. You can't load up on Knox. And I think Randall's biggest problem, he's a rebounder, he's a scorer, and he can score at 3 levels. So his biggest problem is that he's not a defender. And the fact that he's not a defender and you got him right next to an elite shot blocker, I think that's the type of compliment you want on a young team to build. And they're still really young. When I don't know what the 3rd year is on his deal. I don't know if it's a player option. I don't know if it's a team option. But I do know that when this deal is up, Randall will only be 27 years old. Kevin Knox will be 22 years old. Trier will be 26 years old. Mitchell Robinson will be 23 years old. RJ Barrett will be 22 years old or going on 23 years old. So if Randall ends up not working out, that young Nick Core they talking about developing are still going to be all the under 25 crew. Not bad at all. Wow, all he is Zion with no hops. I'll take Zion with no hops. I agree, Collis. The Knicks don't have a good supporting cast for any free agent to come in here and compete. I agree. I don't think the Knicks young players are that good. 17 wins says a lot. The Knicks, they keep saying the Knicks was concerned with Durant's injury recovery. I was okay with that. And any of y'all thorough. Yo, you know what's funny about this Julius Randle signing? Overall, most people agree with it. I mean, a couple people here, and I've talked to other people offline just about him as a player, and most people like him as a player, and they don't think it's a bad deal. Thorough says Randall's from Texas. Trill, he from Dallas. Julius Randle, that is. No saviors coming. Pause. We got to develop these young guys and hope we get talent via trade and the draft. I agree. There's 0% they didn't offer him the max. That's damage control. Thank you, Thorough. That's why I don't really want to talk about this whole the Knicks didn't offer KD the max. I agree. Damage control. That's exactly the term to use. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like damage control more than that, anything else. But if they did have if they did have the gall, the audacity to not offer him the max, more power to him. You got to get one to have two. I agree, brother. I agree. Jason was good. Chris was good. Too bad KD won't be playing next season. Oh, there's that. Now it changes it now for the Nets. They are their cap. They have to let Levert. They just signed Temple. Well, if you know, maybe we'll see what Temple is, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see what the Nets are. Kyrie's a weirdo. Here we go. Nick signed Julius Randle. Okay. I know I'm probably crazy behind on these comments. A weirdo with a ring. Overpaid Randle. 3 for 50 would have been better. All right, maybe. But let's see how they use the rest of their money, Reg. Let's see. Leave Dolan alone. He gonna be fine. Nick guarding cable vision. I lost equity in 20 years. Yeah, and that's the problem with Dolan and the Knicks is that they're extremely valuable because of Madison Square Garden, not because of basketball. The Nets right now are valuable because of basketball, and that's the difference. We're going to see KD gonna kill y'all for the next 8 years. We'll see. KD will be lucky if he plays 8 more years. Are you kidding me? KD will be lucky if he gets through his contract with this injury at this age. Hey yo, pause. I ain't paying Johnny no. Bomani's a hater. Yeah, he going crazy. Bomani being mad doesn't bring y'all chips, bro. Salty, they didn't get KD. Yeah, they are. Kawhi to the Lakers. Breaking news. Nah, Johnny, I ain't seen that. Stop it. Uh, let's see. That salt don't look good on you. Y'all crazy. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wrap up, man. Soon. Portland locked up Lillard. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Thank you, Indy. I think Damian Lillard extending with Portland right away, not even getting to his free agency. Um, yeah, I think that that's a good look for them. They were able to re-sign Rodney Hood, and then they just got somebody back in a trade, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Portland, Portland will be a playoff team. They'll be there trying to make something happen in the playoffs. We'll see. But always good when you can lock up your superstars um, way ahead of time, and not have to even deal with the stuff in free agency. So that's definitely a good look for them. Knicks will be surprised. This D'Angelo Russell Knicks thing. He clearly liked New York. I'm not against it. Let's see what happens. The Knicks still have a lot of money. That 63 million they just gave Randall don't come close to the amount of money that the Knicks had in the side. The Knicks had enough money to sign two guys to 8 years, over 200 and something million to commit to two different players. Almost $300 million for two players. So essentially, they just spent 63 million of that 300. You get what I'm saying? Because if you could have signed Durant to 140 million, and you could have signed, if you could have signed Kyrie Irving to 140, and you could have signed Durant to 160, unless my math is wrong, that's $300 million over the next 8 years to those two guys. So the Knicks were going to be able to do that. So they just gave Julius Randle uh, uh, 63 million of that. You were going to pay Durant 38 million to sit out next season. You paying Julius Randle 20 million to go out and prove himself, possibly become an all-star, and hopefully he turns into a guy that when he's 27, he's your max free agent that you don't want to let go because he's a stud power forward in the NBA. That's the type of hope the Knicks fans need to have. And if he's not, you'll let him walk at 27 and keep on hoping Mitch and all these other guys develop. D'Angelo Russell, though, is going to be interesting. Thyru was good. It was never on to be over, dude. That's the point. That's exactly. You think Dolan is part of the problem? I think historically Dolan is part of the problem. I think how Dolan has moved since he fired Phil Jackson. No, I'll say it even better. I think how Dolan has moved since he hired Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson's tenure with the Knicks was horrible, but uh, Dolan stayed out of it until he felt he needed to be a part of it. So the fact that Dolan started to do that, I like that. But historically, yes, you have to say Dolan is part of the problem. Allen says Randall's really good. He's young, not even in his prime, just average 20 and 10, fits perfect. I agree, brother. No problem with Randall here. I'm gonna watch some highlights. I'm about to be done with y'all soon. We already don't win an hour and 15 minutes. Ain't nobody gonna come in. I don't know who's coming to watch this video over for an hour and 15 minutes, but I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I know Stephen A going crazy. D Rose to Detroit. Yep. Nets will be a second round exit playoff team next season. It's possible. It's possible, but that'll be further than they got this year, and then KD will be coming. Nets lose to Boston next to Indy. Nets versus Boston in the playoffs. Kemba Walker with the boys that Kyrie so-called couldn't play with. I love it. I love it. They neither one of them teams is gonna be able to deal with Giannis a year better, I don't think. I know Akatunde feels a way about the Bucks to a degree, but like he said, I think he ultimately knows the Bucks are good, and they'll be the best. They possibly have the best record in the East again, if not the league. They'll be a year better, and Nets and Boston will have to prove it more so than Milwaukee will have to prove it. But I do like the idea of the Nets versus Celtics in the playoffs in the second round. And then the winner plays the Bucks for the to go to the chips. That looks good to me. Jimmy Butler is talking with Houston and Miami. Yes, he is. It looks like he's real with Miami. I like him in Houston. I know some people don't, but I'm cool with that. What else we got? They got George Hill back, 3 years, 32 million. Yep, I think he was a part of that bench squad in Milwaukee. That bench squad was serious, and yeah, you can't be mad at that. You can't be mad at that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Great, Allen. I like that. I like that lineup. Russell, Barrett, Knox, Randall Robinson, six man Alonzo Trier. And I'm not down. Obviously, D'Lo is an upgrade over Dennis Smith Jr. He's an all-star, so I ain't about to front. I'm just saying, if we don't get D'Angelo Russell, I hope Dennis Smith Jr. comes in on some it's my job to lose kind of mentality. I really hope, I really hope he does. But yeah, if the Knicks can sign D'Angelo Russell, it would be like we got the baby nice free agents because we would have two nice young players that I'm sorry you hating if you fronting on that we got those players. I'm liking that young lineup too, Allen. Yes, I am. 3 year deal for D'Lo. I'm down for 3 years. I'm down 3 years for D'Lo. RJ Rookie of the Year. Yes, sir. Silas was good, brother. Chris, what's going on? Got to keep building culture also. Yes, Chris, that's what I'm talking about. You got to keep building culture. That's my brother right there. Not just my brother in the struggle, not just my brother in the music, not just my brother in life experience. That is my blood brother, Didu Green's other son, Didu Green Sr., Ashe. Shout out to my brother Chris. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep building the culture. RJ Barrett, Randall, these young players, Mitchell Robinson, Trier, they help you build and develop the culture. Now they got to show it on the court, but I'm not mad at it, and that's why I'm not salty. Let's see. He's from Canada. Yo, you funny. Dudes be talking just to talk. Randall was a great pickup. Elijah, appreciate that. The Maple Mamba. RJ. All right, y'all. I see y'all talking back and forth. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any give Dennis Smith Jr. a shot. What we got to lose right now. I would definitely give Dennis Smith Jr. a shot. But if D'Angelo Russell is taking a 3 year deal to come sign with the Knicks, and you're gonna have to pay him like 27 million a year. So that's still less than 36. That's still less than 90, right? Yeah, I do that. I give him a 3 year at 27 per. And if he takes less than that, wow. If he takes less than that to come in to stay in New York, wow. Because the Lakers could offer him what he's eligible for. His max value right now is 27 million a season. So he's right above $100 million contract. So if the Knicks can secure D'Angelo Russell for 27 million per for 3 years, I definitely do that with John Randall and all the rest of the young boys, because now we actually have an all-star on the lineup. We have a guy that it can play well enough to be an all-star. Like, that says a lot. Oh, y'all going back and forth on my man RJ. Okay, y'all going back and forth. I see y'all. Oh, did I catch up to all the comments? All right, y'all. I think I've caught up to all the comments. So I'm about to get out of here and watch some more some trades and get to my being a fan again. I appreciate y'all. I'm off most of this week. My mom's is coming home from knee surgery from the rehab facility. So shout out to Mama I. You know what I'm saying? Keep her in your prayers or your altars or just in your good wishes, and just keep her healing energy that way. But I thank y'all for sitting here an hour and 20 minutes with me. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's go watch some highlights. Let's talk some more. Let's let this stuff sink in and marinate. We still got Kawhi Leonard, the big chip to fall. Let's see where he goes. And there's probably still a couple other guys that we haven't heard about. Obviously, Clay hasn't signed his deal yet. I haven't seen that. So there's still some other things going on out here. There's the Morris brothers are free agents. You got to keep your eye on that to see what happens there. So yeah, man, still exciting. That's why as an NBA, I'm still happy as an NBA fan. The Knicks struck out, but we did not fumble. Yo, I'm your host, Go Green. Thank you, Go Gadget Green, for having me and allowing me to have a platform for you. This is the Green of Thrones NYC Sports. Shout out to the Green of Thrones NYC Sports group on Facebook. As y'all know, and I always say it, if you are not a member, subscribe to Go Gadget Green. That's Go Gadget, one word, Green, another word, on YouTube. And if you follow me on YouTube and you're on Facebook, it's a public group. I will accept you. The Green of Thrones NYC Sports. The Bulls got Thaddeus Young. You know what? The Bulls are going to be interesting. Thaddeus Young is a good athletic player to add to your core, but we're going to see what happens. Elijah, I appreciate you. We'll be back, y'all. Maybe even as soon as tomorrow, but let's see. Oh, you know what? If Kawhi signs, I might have to do this again tonight, y'all. If the Kawhi chips fall tonight, Kawhi might be a couple more days, so we'll see. But I might wait to see the next big move. The Hornets got Rozier for 3 years, 58 million. I'm happy about that because that keeps Dennis Smith as the starter in New York, and it keeps the D-Lo option open. Yo, Green of Thrones, love y'all. Go Gadget Green, Green of Thrones, we out. Peace.